we can call this meeting to order, please. If everyone would rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Present.
Trustee Caprio?
Present.
Trustee Rogers? Present. Trustee Suisse?
Present.
Trustee Knight-Troitsky? Trustee Varian?
Present.
Mayor Yukich?
Present. Okay, are there any amendments to the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I have one. Mr. Mayor, I'd like to table I-6 so we can get more information from staff on this issue.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so I-6 will be tabled until we get the information that is needed. We need to call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Suisse?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye. Thank you.
I do have one more amendment to the agenda, Mayor.
Okay,
I would like to remove H6 from consent agenda and insert that probably after I-8. So that would be I-9.
okay, that's fine. So H6 is going to go to I-9.
I'll second.
Roll call. Any discussion? That was Trustee Costa. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Suisse?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from July 30th, 2015 Village Board meeting?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 2, is there a motion to approve the minutes from August 26th, 2015 Village Board meeting?
I so move.
Second.
Second.
Second, Trustee Costa. All in favor? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now we will go to reports and communications from the mayor and other officers. This time I'm going to defer to the trustees, and we'll start off with Trustee Varian.
Nothing to report there.
Trustee Costa?
No report tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Caprio?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I'm reporting on behalf of the Parade and Festival Committee. We did have our most recent meeting on September 1st to do a recap and debrief of the 2015 Homer Community Festival. The overall event went very well. Some minor things that we may make changes on, nothing of significant nature. Our income and expense numbers are just about finalized for the 2015 festival. We did cover our costs, and there's additional proceeds to be had, shared by the 3 entities that are a part of that. We're in process of hiring entertainment for 2016. The festival dates will be Thursday, June 23rd through Sunday, June 26th is what our anticipating dates are. I think that works out right. Remember, as it approaches, we're always searching for volunteers. I know it's real early on. And I'll let Trustee Suisse speak to the Homer Harvest Days, but volunteers are short in many occasions, so we want to make sure that we get as many as we can for all events that we try to host in the community. We are going to maintain the existing site that we did this past year and for the last several years for the Homer Community Festival. We will look towards 2017 in changing the venue to a more permanent location, obviously located in the village here, and we haven't decided on that location and or the configuration of that location at this time. So with that said, Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Caprio. Trustee Suisse?
Thank you, Mayor. Reporting for the Environment Committee. Coinciding with the Homer Glen Lands Day on September 26th, There will be a free event for the public of all ages, and all ages are welcome. This event takes place from 9:30 to noon on the 26th at Messenger March on South Bell Road. A representative from the Hickory Creek Watershed Group, along with researchers and biologists, will team up with volunteers to collect samples of aquatic organisms in the creek. Free lunch for all that registered will be provided afterwards at the Messenger March, and free tours of the Illinois American Oak Valley Water Facility will be held from 10:45 to 1:45 that afternoon. Register to volunteer at www.hickorycreekwatershed.org/bioblitz-2015. I will check with the office to see if we could put some of that information on the website. Now, reporting for the Homer Harvest Days Committee. The Homer Harvest Days event will take place this weekend, September 12 and 13, at the Trantina Farm at 15744 West 151st Street. Hours are from 11 to 6 on Saturday and 11 to 5 on Sunday. This year we have many new vendors and demonstrators. Mr. Lincoln will be returning with various stories and presentations. Drum, bow, and rope making will be displayed, as well as free arts and crafts for the children. Children can also be blacksmith for a day, and there will also be an inflatable corn maze, free pony rides, free admission, and free parking. There will be reenactors from the Civil War era, along with an expert on Civil War weapons. The cannon will fire on the hour during the course of the event, and the tomahawk thrower will return, which was very popular last year. An entire lineup of entertainment, including Innisfree playing on Saturday and Sunday, Red Tail Ring playing on Sunday from noon to 3, and the Frankfurt Brass Band will play on Saturday from noon to 3, along with performances by the Budabi Brothers. Sunday at 11:30, the Will County Historical Society will have a barn dedication and presentation. Please also check out all the assortment of food vendors we have this year. The Open Space Committee will be selling Restoration Root Beer again, and Cool Creations has donated ice cream so that root beer floats will be available for sale. Please visit the website at www.homerharvestdays.com for more information and for applications to volunteer. Come out this weekend and enjoy lots of family fun. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Sweet. Trustee Rogers?
I have nothing to report.
Thank you. Okay, my turn. The annual Mike Hike 5K will take place on Saturday, November 7th at the Michael C. Oliveri segment of the Homer Glen Hero Trails. Participants can register at mikehike5k.com. Proceeds raised through the event will commemorate our local heroes while supporting improvements to our community trails and parks. This coming Monday, we will have the next meeting of the Northern Will County Water Agency. It will be here at the Village Board. The agenda of the meeting will be posted on the Village's website. On Saturday, September 5th, the Village's final community-wide spraying occurred. We received confirmation from Clark Mosquito that all the streets within the village were treated that evening. And last, Homer Harvest Days is this coming weekend. Sharon pretty much filled you in, but this is a free event. This is the village co-hosts with the township. The festival provides a great opportunity for families to enjoy music, old-fashioned entertainment, children's activities, and much more. We want to thank Trustee Sweet, staff members Sue Stylen, and the Homer Harvest Days Committee, and all the volunteers who were working hard on this year's festival. And like Trustee Caprio said too, they need a lot more volunteers, so if anyone can step up to the plate, we would definitely appreciate it. With that being said, we will go to the treasurer.
Mayor, there's no treasurer.
Madam Clerk. Village Attorney.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Public safety officials.
Something by me, Mayor.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
For those of you that have not heard yet, or some of you may have heard and have little questions, we had an incident at the school yesterday. The school is a young school, is located on Cedar Road, just south of 159. The school is not in the village of Homer Glen, but because of its proximity to the village, our guys do respond there if there's any major incidents, just purely due to the fact that we can get there a lot quicker than the zone car that would normally be handling that area. So there was an incident at the school yesterday morning. There was a phone message that was left the day before The secretaries, when they came in yesterday, did hear the message and perceived it to be a threat against the school with an explosive device. This happened before the kids got to the school. At no point in time were any children ever in danger. As the children were arriving to school in buses, they were immediately sent over across the street over to Schilling, so at no point in time were any kids ever in danger. We got there as soon as they called us and did we always take the threats very seriously, so we got there and did what we had to do as far as securing the building the rest of the way, did a minor sweep, and had some bomb detection dogs come down from DuPage County to do a finalized sweep of the area. Nothing was found, so kids were brought back and classes resumed as normal. Anybody have any questions? Thank you.
Okay. Joe, do you have anything? Okay. Village manager?
Thank you, Mayor. Couple quick items related to the future Village Hall Park. So you have in front of you tonight an updated task to complete spreadsheet, and do that at your leisure. There's a lot more red this week than there was last week or the week before. Some major things that happened this past week is the shelters were demolished and disposed of, which is great. More additional work was accomplished on the trail, which was good. We got all the proposals back for the fencing, which I'm going to be talking about to you in a minute. In the week ahead, this week and next week, the township is helping us remove dead branches from healthy trees in the park. They've been busy already this week working, so that's great. Contractor R&R is busy filling in holes. They will begin the new trail connection the weekend of the 19th. They actually had thought about starting it yesterday, but glad that they didn't. It would have been a muddy mess. So they're starting that on the 19th, and then there's various other updates on the tasks to complete. We've been focusing on the large items. While the signage is important, it can be turned around much more quickly than some of the other items. So a little bit about that. For tonight, I do need your feedback and your direction regarding the fencing. I appreciate you giving me a couple minutes here to go through the information that's in front of you. Jim Wolkowski, our staff member that's been working on this, did a fine job. It took him a little while to get some proposals back. We got the last one back yesterday. You're looking at those in front of you in the spreadsheet. There were 4 firms that provided proposals. They were all given the same very specific instructions, so you are comparing apples to apples. A couple questions that we have for the board, decisions that need to be made. The fence that will run along the north side of the bushes that we see along the parking lot, between the trail and the parking lot. On your spreadsheet, those costs are reflected as either 2A or 2B. 2A is the installation of a temporary fence, and so you see the costs going across for what a temporary fence would look like. In other words, it would go up here in the next couple weeks, and it would come down at some point over the course of the next year. 2B is a permanent fence that matches the existing fence that is there right now, where the entrance is. So I will need some direction from the board on whether or not you would rather see a temporary fence there or a permanent fence. The goal is to further secure the property. Right now, if you park in the parking lot, you can walk right through the bushes, actually, into the property. You can take a bicycle through the bushes. You can take many things through the bushes. So this fence will preclude you from doing that and further secure the property. So that's one thing that Mayor, I don't know if you want to do these individually as we go through, or if you want me to give you the whole overview and then come back to them.
No, we can go through the whole thing.
Okay, very good. So the choice between 2A and 2B will be good. And then also another choice, the temporary fence that will be installed along the eastern side of the future Village Hall building and then around the northern side of the building to ensure that the building is protected and that no one can get from the building into the building while it's under construction. You have 2 choices there. One is to actually own the fencing, the temporary fencing when it's done. We'll deconstruct it, store it, use it again possibly. Or if you just want to lease it, they put it up, when we call them, they come take it down and away it goes. So you have 2 prices there that are shown in option number 1 and option number 2 on item 3. Staff is suggesting, we know that we have to do option number 1, and we know that we have to do number 4. And so staff, in the yellow, we've kind of indicated the ones that we're suggesting. We're suggesting doing the fence for the west parking lot. We're suggesting a permanent fence behind the bushes. We're suggesting a temporary fence that's rented. And then, of course, the fencing around the ground pump for security purposes. The lowest firm to provide costs for each of those items is Ridge Fence Supply out of Chicago Ridge. The total cost there is about $7,200, which actually is a little bit less than staff had anticipated. The other lower bid is from K Brothers Fence out of Makina at just over $9,000. There's about $1,800 between them. Staff member that's working on this was wondering if the board would be willing to give staff the flexibility to pick between the two firms based on their responsiveness. We know that you want to get this up quickly, and we want to get it up quickly so that it's in place. So if you feel comfortable with that and the recommendations, then we would proceed and we would ask them tomorrow to respond how quickly all these items could be done, and then we would select the one that was able to do it the quickest. And I'm not talking about like if there's just a day or two difference, then of course we would pick the lowest price. But if there happens to be weeks differential, then we would have some flexibility. Mayor, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, on the Ridge Fence Supply, what you have highlighted in yellow, I like the idea of the 2B, of option 2B for the $2,800, and also, I'm sorry, for the $3,200, and then on 3 of option 2. And yes, I agree, the flexibility, we know there's a slight cost difference, but if we can get this done in a very timely manner compared to 3, 4, 5 weeks out, I would rather get it done quicker. So the quicker we get this done, the quicker we can put it up.
Thank you, Trustee Costa. Any other
I'm
questions?
going to ask the same question I always ask. Is there any ability to continue negotiation with any of the 1 or the 2 that we choose?
We certainly can do that.
I would love the quicker response
Right.
with the mindset that we know that there's someone $2,000 lower.
Right.
Well, and I
Well,
think,
one of the challenges, I always rely on staff because they go through the process of getting all these, and so he knows which vendor responded quickly.
Sure.
Which vendor took maybe 2 weeks to respond, which one calls back immediately, which one maybe there's a delay. And so when Jim is a very straight up person, when he says, Cam, see if you can get him to give me flexibility, I'm sensing that maybe he might be concerned about timeliness.
Sure.
So this way we would have some flexibility that way, and we can continue to try to move forward with this stuff. So.
well, can't we just mention, since it's almost $2,000 difference, can't we just tell Ridge Fence, this is our time frame, can you
Right.
meet this or not?
That's what we'll actually
You
do.
know, demand a time
Right.
frame from them.
Right, that's what we'll actually do.
I'd like to see a time frame in September.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want this going in October where we're still not using it in October, so.
I will say this, obviously they simply deliver the product, they assemble, they start working on things. There's really only 2 things out of this group that are absolutely vital that get done. One is the little thing that will probably take them a matter of a couple hours, which is securing the ground pump. The other one is securing the building. So, the challenge is, though, the fence line that runs along the trail is kind of the biggest amenity on the property besides its beauty. So I would hate to have them installing a fence, keeping people from utilizing that portion of the trail. You see what I mean? So while there's only 2 things that are really vitally important in terms of security, right from the get-go, the fence line thing is kind of impedes the use of the trail a little bit. So it would be great if they could all be done.
Well, yeah, you prioritize it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I guess I'm a little still confused why we need to fence off the building.
Well, there's 2 reasons. You can literally walk right up to the building. You can have immediate access to it. The lighting on the backside is not the best. It's very secluded because it's on the backside. You can't see around the building. There's a lot of forestry on the west side of the building, so it's actually kind of even hard to see what's going on behind the building from the parking lot on the west side. So there's those kind of security concerns. And then this part of the property is not accessible. There are stairs. And so like the public cannot actually find its way onto the patio that has the gazebo in an accessible way. It's not accessible. And so we've been told that we need to, until it becomes accessible, which will have to be at some point during the construction phase of the building, that it shouldn't be open because it's not accessible.
Well, and that would include the east side of the golf cart ramp,
Well,
which
that's-
I would not want to leave open.
Right, and that's
Right.
an obvious reason, yeah, because that
Yeah.
would be a big attraction for kids with wheels and stuff.
It would,
Getting
yeah.
down to the, getting down to the lower level.
That's something we should put a permanent one on eventually.
Right.
Just no matter how you look at it, you don't want it open even after.
Absolutely, we are completely agree.
Well, is everyone agreeable to given the flexibility to go between K Brothers or Ridge Fence?
I'm flexible to it as long as they know that it's a matter of opening in September, or, I mean, if we open at the end of October, what's the point?
Right.
You know, if we're spending an extra $2,000 because somebody can say, oh, I can get it in at the end of October, and the other one's saying November, then I'm not agreeable to that. If one of these two companies says, hey, I'm going to get you open for fall, you know, you're going to be ready, September 23rd, you guys can go out there.
We need a date.
Jim led me to believe that the temporary fence in particular was readily available.
Okay.
So I think we'll be okay now.
Well, the temporary fence, I don't know if it's real important until they start doing the construction.
Right.
Well,
So
it
if we-
is because there's like this ramp that goes down into.
Well, that would be the only place. but
And the
we can-
pump.
The pump has to, but I'm just talking in the very back of the building. If someone wants to get on the porch, whether there's a fence there or not, they're gonna get on the porch. I'm thinking more when the construction begins, because then now it is a safety issue.
Jim mentioned to me that he felt like one of the two firms was very eager to begin should he call them tomorrow. So I think that we'll probably be in good shape if we have some flexibility.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, then, why don't we, if it's okay with the board, hold off on 3 for right now, because it's a portable fence system. We can put it up anytime, and if you want to wait until we've got people doing work there.
I think that that's definitely doable. It makes sense to me because I know we're concerned about people, you know, getting in there and getting up. Well, you know, if they want to get in, they're going to jump these little fences. I mean, if they want to get in that building, they're going to jump these fences. And if they get in the building, either way, they're going to get arrested.
So are we talking about letting separate contracts? Are we in the process of doing that, or
No,
still including it here?
It still would be included in it, but we don't want it up until later on, because we want to make sure that it's up there for the entire construction.
With the exception of that ramp area.
The ramp
I would put the
has to
ramp
be
area
done
up,
right
right.
away. No matter what, that has to be blocked off right away.
So the prices are done this way. You can do a 6-month interval, or you can do a year interval. So we basically, you know, if we put it up today, we're probably gonna keep it for longer than, so there's a good chance we'll keep it for longer than 6 months. So I would just tell them to go ahead and do it right away. You're not gonna lose any money, you're not saving any money. You've got some flexibility because of the 6-month.
And what about as far as like this fencing, and I haven't seen the drawings of what it
Right.
looks like. Are they responsible for the maintenance of it? So in the
Yes.
middle of the winter, the plows
Right.
knock it over, they're gonna come
Well,
fix
if we
it?
do damage to it, then we're responsible, which obviously makes sense. But if for some reason they haven't connected it appropriately and it falls down, they have to come back and fix it. It's pretty uncomplicated, though. It's pretty uncomplicated fence. It's easily.
Is it similar to the ones you see like around the carnival
Yes.
areas where they're metal and they're just
Right,
kind
they
of
have
clamped together?
bases, and they come in and they have interlocking kind of joints between them. Yep.
These are chain link? Yeah, 6 foot high. It's not the same as what the other.
Like you see them on construction sites a lot.
Steel chain link.
Yeah, you see them on construction sites a lot.
Yeah, the one around the building,
The one around the building.
Yeah.
which makes sense, it's harder. Not that much harder, but it's harder.
Right,
You have this cool.
and they have bases so that they don't tip over easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so what do you want to do?
I like that idea.
So it looks like we've got the,
Yeah.
Because it got changed between.
the 72, looks like we've got the 729575 or the 911580, and then we get to talk to them about trying to move it along as quickly as possible, pick the one that can deliver.
I'm all for allowing staff to do what they need to do with the notion that we're going to open this as quickly as possible.
Right, and you want to spend the $2,800 to have them do the temporary fence around the back of the building?
Mhm.
I have no issue with it.
Right.
No, no issue.
resolution.
Okay, so then the big decision of the night is opening day. So obviously, with every passing day, more stuff gets done. Can't open it next week, because we still have some big things to do, but the dates that kind of stick out in my mind is you have a kind of a ceremonial date, which is Wednesday, September 23rd. It's the first day of fall. Or a date where even more things will be done, which would be Thursday, October 1st. When I took the walkthrough with the executive director of the local park district, she suggested that we pick a date that was not on a weekend. Like if you were going to have a rollout, it's like you announce if you're a store. You know, you're officially open on Saturday, but you're really open on Wednesday. So I've been kind of running that through my mind, and those kind of dates stick out. So September 23rd, we'll have more stuff done, not everything. October 1st, Thursday, October 1st, we'll have even more things done. Those are the two dates I would just suggest. Of course, whatever date you pick is the date that we'll do it.
As long as liabilities are removed in my mind and we got fencing, the 23rd is great.
The 23rd is definitely doable, but my preference, but we also have A&F and,
Oh, that's a Wednesday,
George
yes.
20.
Yeah, right.
So do a Tuesday.
Yeah, but George, Mayor, will all these, the
No.
fencing,
No, not
all the
everything
things
will be
might
done.
not be in
All right,
place
let's
for
find-
2
why don't we
weeks?
find out when the fencing's gonna be done, and then we can go from there.
Right, instead of trying to
But
fix
it
out
will,
something.
it will be within the next 4 weeks,
Oh, very
as
good.
long as the fencing's up.
Very good.
Okay.
Sounds great, thank you.
You're welcome. Next is public comment. If everyone could keep to 3 minutes, I would appreciate it. First one up is Dennis Gerwig.
Good evening. I'm here tonight not to address the village about anything that has to do with the village. I'm here tonight basically asking for money, lots of money. And I hope that the whatever newspapers are here would give this some publicity. I'm here on behalf of Big Run Wolf Ranch. Many of you have been there, and I'm going to presume some of you have not. It's a very educational place within the confines of the facility at 148th and Farrell Road. They have a full adult black bear, some coyotes, a horse. We got about 15 wolves. The newest one is a young female, about 4 or 5 months old. And I know from personal experience, her teeth are very sharp, but she doesn't bite hard. She's very, very friendly. They also have a puma mountain lion, which my son, who volunteers his time there, is the only one within the facility that can actually approach the puma and pet its stomach, scratch its stomach, and things like that. Whenever this puma hears my son's voice, he comes running out of his enclosure to greet my son. It's great. They also have an endangered species there called the Siberian tiger. I had the pleasure of playing with this tiger when it was about 4 or 5 months old, maybe 35, 40 pounds. I was absolutely amazed at the softness of its fur. It's just, if a chance like that comes once in a lifetime to pet something like this. And I was just amazed. Khan is the name of this tiger. And Khan has now grown to about 500 pounds. He's got 200 more pounds to go before he's full grown. In short, he has outgrown his enclosure. And they need to add adequate facilities to house Khan and a few of the other wolves. It would be great if the local paper, if the Tribune is represented here tonight, if they would maybe call out there, maybe pay a visit, bring a photographer along, give it some publicity. They do have an open house once a month, and they charge admission, and that admission goes strictly for the upkeep of the facility. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Everybody that works there volunteers their time. They get no compensation. It costs an absolute fortune to feed these animals and keep up the grounds and, keep up the enclosures and so forth. So they need some help. And that's what I'm here for tonight, some publicity from the local papers. They have the next open house on September 26th. It's a great place to bring your kids or grandkids. You'll learn a lot about the animals. And like I say, it's strictly run on donations. So please, let's get some publicity out for these people, and let's get them some money, because they need it very badly. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Second speaker is Mary Ann Bozen.
Mary Ann Bozen. I'm very happy to hear that we're having the walking, the path done in Woodbine. I hope the building will be ready pretty soon. But I also want to say on the Founders Club to George, we do appreciate you joining and putting up the display. And I do have this Friday, we will be having our 9/11 ceremony at Coleman Farm. So please come out and enjoy it. And I have tickets here that I will pass out to everyone so that you do. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Mary Ann. Next speaker will be John Coy.
John Coy. We've been, Monday, if I'm not mistaken, the Northern Illinois Water Agency is getting together here in our boardroom, 11 a.m. We spent a lot of money with this water purchase that we're going to get, or trying to get. And I don't remember how many years that we've been going through this, but I was just talking, which I didn't know I'd be able to talk, to bury him over here, but anyway, about Lamont and Palis arguing about who's going to annex some of that property in over there. I was wondering, which I was told tonight, the supply line for Palis was not big enough, but I was suggesting that we would possibly, and I still think we should possibly, talk to Palis, drop the Northern Illinois Water Agency, and go with them and get our supply from Palis, opposed to all this rigmarole that we're going through with Northern Illinois Water. Other than that, I think we could save millions of dollars this way, because right now, Palis has on two sides of us Chicago Water already, which I didn't realize till these the article that had been put in the newspapers. So anyway, we're talking about going to that next meeting, so maybe we'll have more information. It might be well worth our time to investigate this. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Jim, did you want to speak now, or did you want to wait till yours comes up?
I'm just going to introduce myself. That's it.
Okay. Come on up and introduce yourself.
Good evening. Just want to introduce ourselves. My name is Jim Petrakos. I'm an owner of Tree Architecture. I know we're on an agenda for tonight. With me is Courtney Terrell. She's our interior designer. We just want to say thank you for the opportunity to introduce ourselves. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, that's it for public comment. We are going to be on the consent agenda for right now. There are a few different things that have to deal with the same company, so I am going to be repetitious. But first on the agenda is consider for approval the Village of Homer Glen's March legal bills from Olson and Stark Limited. Do I have a motion? Or just go, okay. Consider for approval the Village of Homer Glen's April legal bills from Olson and Stark. Consider for approval the Village of Homer Glen's May legal bills from Olson and Stark. Consider for approval the Village of Homer Glen's June legal bills from Olson and Stark. Consider for approval the Village's June professional consulting services from Williams Architects in the amount of $15,254.70. Yep. Is there a motion? So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, could I just ask a question?
Well, let me get this set. Motion carries. Yes.
I'm sorry, Mayor.
That's all right, Bob.
1, 2, 3, 4, public funding.
How much was what?
Here, consider approval to
Oh.
legal bill. How much? How much?
Well, we'll have to add them up.
I didn't finish it, so you know.
Approximately 31,000.
Huh?
Approximately $31,000.
That's all? I didn't.
No problem.
I'm watching the rest of the
That's all right. That's what I want you to do, Bob. Okay, now it goes on to legislation and action items. First is a proclamation supporting National Public Lands Day. Is there a motion to approve a proclamation in support of National Public Lands Day and designating September 26, 2015 as Homer Glen Lands Day?
I so moved.
Is there a second? Second. Is there discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Motion carries. Number 2, hiring a full-time administrative analyst and project manager. Is there a motion to approve the hiring of Sean Keane as a full-time administrative analyst, project manager, beginning September 10th, 2015, for $19.23 an hour? So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Carlo. Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I thought maybe, Heather, if you give Heather just a minute, she'd like to introduce Sean to everybody, to the audience.
Sean was our administrative assistant. He was our summer help in the building department. He worked up at the counter, and he also assisted other departments. He has experience in municipal government. He worked at Palos Park for some time, and also at CMAP. He comes to us with a bachelor's degree from University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana in urban planning, and hopefully he'll be on his way to get a master's. But he comes to us with GIS experience and a willingness to learn, and he's really great with our residents and great writer, and he's a fantastic fit with our staff. So we are really thankful for him, and we welcome him full-time.
Thank you. And I feel the same way. Sean's got a great personality, very hard worker. Everyone in the office is very happy that we did put him on, and I think we're very lucky to get him. So welcome aboard, Sean.
Thank you.
ILL.
Aye and aye.
Okay, next. Roll call, please.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Okay.
Welcome, Sean.
Thank you.
Now, number 3, ordinance amending village's liquor ordinance, removing the salon and spa class. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 15040, an ordinance amending ordinance number 14021, entitled "An Ordinance Providing for the Control of Alcoholic Liquor within the Village of Homer Glen, Will County, Illinois"?
I so moved.
Is there a second? Second. Is there discussion?
Can you just explain for the the community what this is, because it sounds a little restrictive, but it's not.
Okay, I plan on doing that. What this is when we first came on the board, it was 6 years ago, our liquor ordinances were just numerous. We had 21, 22 different liquor ordinances. So we eliminated some of them right off the bat because they were never used. For all the liquor ordinances that we had, there are no open licenses at the time. We make the license as we go on. When we had issues with people abusing it and using it for the wrong reason, we cut it down even more to just a few temporary and licenses for restaurants that have a service bar and without a service bar. We have no bars at all, just a plain bar in the village, so we eliminated that ordinance. The state came up with the video gaming, and the only way you could get the video gaming was through a liquor license. If you got a liquor license, you could have the machines. We did not want to fill this village with just a bunch of companies coming in here just to take our residents' money. When we originally switched everything around, it was for the businesses that have been here for many years, working very hard. We're having some hard times. We were going through a recession. People were going to other villages and cities to spend money in the video games, so we approved it. We did have some companies that came in that just wanted the beer and wine license. They didn't want anything else. We had one company come straight forward and say, we don't care about the liquor license, we needed to get the video gaming. So all they were worried about is just taking the money from the residents. We are here to watch out for you. We're not going to tell you you can't gamble, but I don't like, and I think the board would agree with me, to have it on every corner is not a good look for this village. So we eliminated a bunch of them, and right now the way it works is if you want to get a video gaming, you have to serve food. So the ordinance is pretty lengthy, so I would suggest anyone that does want to get one, they read the ordinance so they do understand what they're getting themselves into. Hopefully that answers any questions you might have. If not, give us a call and you ask us a question, we'll answer it. So, I need a, do we do roll call? Okay, I need a roll call, please.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Number 4, Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus membership dues. Is there a motion to approve the 2014-2015 Metropolitan Mayor's Caucus membership dues? Bless you. In the amount of $1,089.90. So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye. Okay. Municipal League membership dues. Is there a motion to approve the Village of Homer Glen's 2015-2016 Illinois Municipal League membership dues in the amount of $1,649?
Make a motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Number 6, denying single-family home permit application.
No, that was
That was
taken.
taken off? Okay. Number 7, agreement, we'll discuss that later. Agreement with Landscape Supply, Inc. for Fall Public Parkway tree planting. Is there a motion to approve an agreement with Landscape Supply, Inc. in the amount not to exceed $38,000 for the Village of Homer Glen's Public Parkway Tree Planting Program, Fall 2015? So moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
We've used landscape
for similar things in the past?
We actually have, and we've actually used them most recently on our last planting, and that's one of the reasons that you see them before you today. Every time, and Sue's here, Sue back there, and of course Sue manages these programs for us. So every time we have to go through the process of going out for proposals and working with a new company, and then Sue training them on what our expectations are and everything, there's just a lot of time and effort that goes into that. We got some excellent prices from this company the last go around when it was bid out. Sue worked with them, she's trained them real good, and they were a good provider. So it's a recommendation from the Environment Committee and from staff that we stick with them here this next planting, and that's why you see it before you. Now, they're honoring the prices that they publicly bid out previously for many of the trees are attached. You'll also notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new trees that they've added. Type of linden and black maple and Ohio buckeye and various other ones, and they've given us prices on those. Sue will manage these and send letters out to residents and give them a couple choices. I think, Sue, you give them, what, 2 or 3 choices?
Yes.
Yes. And to create nice, diverse tree stock in town. But the reason we want to work with these guys is they did such a good job this last time, easy to work with, very professional, and it'll make the process a whole lot smoother this fall. Thank you. Yep.
Okay. Is there any other discussion? Madam Clerk, would you take roll call?
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Okay, number 8, agreement with TRIA for architectural services related to the new village hall. Is there a motion to approve the professional service agreement with the TRIA architect for architectural services related to the new village hall building?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I would just like to amend how it's worded, if I may. At the end of the motion, to add contingent upon review and approval of the village attorney.
Do you have a second on it?
I'll second.
Okay. Is there any other discussion?
Well, I just wanted to bring up, this was just given to us today, so we didn't get a chance to take a look at it.
Correct.
Okay,
And
just,
that's why we're gonna, you can vote on it, but it's under the discretion of the village lawyer.
okay,
So then any issues that we have, we go to the lawyer?
Yes, correct.
okay.
Is there any other discussion? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye. Okay. Number 9. This is from H6. Consider for approval a motion to hire Grant Spooner as the Village of Homer Glen's videographer. I need a motion. Okay. Motion for consideration. Is there a motion to approve the hiring of Grant Spooner as the Village of Homer Glen's videographer? It is understood that Mr. Spooner will receive $85 per shoot. So I need a motion to that.
So moved.
And a second? Second. And discussion.
I'd like to discuss, I think it was previously mentioned that if he was going to, we were going to do this at 125 per shoot, based on him transferring, and I think Heather can explain, the transfer, a transfer video is included in that?
Yes, actually.
Because I'm not sure exactly,
Grant and
to
I-
take off the workload so that,
Right, Grant and I had a discussion about that. What happens is when he adds the meeting to the disc then we have to put the disc in the computer to upload it to YouTube. That locks up my computer for an hour and I can't really use it. So he has offered to do it, and he was able to do that today, and we were able to post it on the website, and so everything went smoothly.
Okay. And this is just, Heather is a very busy person. She wears probably 35 hats. We're trying to knock some of those hats off there. So this makes it a lot easier for us. We're still way below what we were being charged before by the other company. And Grant does pretty much anything we need him to do, and we appreciate it very much. So is it the consensus of the board that it's 125 instead of 85? Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Madam Clerk, could you please take a vote? Yes.
Mayor, just for the record, I guess maybe just for the record to mention that previously we were at 375 per meeting per shoot. So this, even at 125, it's a substantial reduction for what I would term as high quality work. And no disrespect.
Don't let it go to your head, Grant. So, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thanks, Grant. People need to know how hard he works too. He does a lot of different videotaping, and he does a very good job at all of it. Okay, is there any old business? Is there any new business? Okay, the next item is executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation?
I'll make a motion.
I need a second one. Are you two deciding?
I'll second.
Okay. All right. Any discussion? Okay, let's go into executive.